The 80s, a time of tight leather pants and shredding of Floyd Rose equipped super strats. A time when what we now consider iconic metal albums were coming out like every other week. Master of Puppets, Kill 'Em All, South of Heaven, The Number of the Beast, British Steel, and many more. And then about 20 years later, I was bored, and another 10 years after that, I started to make my own attempts at playing the guitar. But the landscape of everything surrounding guitar had changed quite a bit since the 80s. When I started out, I was looking up to YouTubers instead of to actual guitar players. I was discovering new music through Spotify playlists rather than through albums. I was drooling over gear that I couldn't possibly afford on websites instead of on catalogs, magazines? What did they have in the 80s? I'm not sure. And I was playing through mostly JST plugins instead of through actual physical amplifiers. But now another 10 years after that, and I want to get a taste of what it was like in those hairspray infused ears. More specifically, I want to know what my playing would have sounded like if I used the gear that was available back then. And what's in it for you? Well, you get to see how a Gen Z guy who grew up on Jared Dines and metalcore approaches a piece of gear that came out almost 40 years ago now. Let me introduce you to the ADA MP-1 guitar preamplifier. If you don't know, just like I didn't about 2 weeks ago, the ADA MP-1 is a very iconic piece of guitar gear. It came out back in 1987 and quickly became a go-to for metal and shred guys. It was used by Paul Gilbert, Megadeth, and it's even on some early Dream Theater stuff. They called it a programmable amplifier because you could use MIDI to control different presets, but it still had two 12AX7 preamp tubes inside of it. Overall, it's a very cool and important piece of guitar history, and if you want to get one on the used market, it's gonna cost you around $800. Problem is, I don't really have that kind of money right now. And here is when the Nembrini Audio MP-1 PRo plugin comes in. This is an extremely close digital replica of the actual ADA MP-1 unit, with the added bonus of having simulated power amp and cabinet sections. If you just want to know what it sounds like in the context of a full mix, well... The guitars in that mix had absolutely no post-processing, it was just the MP-1 PRo plugin. If you want to get the presets that I created both for the rhythm and the lead tone for completely free, you can do that from the link in the description below. I'm gonna be transparent with you, that is a way for me to build an email list, which, to be quite fucking honest, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with. But if I decide to release something in the future and you're on my email list, you'll be the first one to know, and you'll probably get some sort of discount or something. I don't know. And you can of course just download the presets and unsubscribe. But then next video there's also probably gonna be a perk and then you have to unsubscribe again, and yeah, might as well just stay on there. Now, in the spirit of transparency, I actually gotta say that I did get the Nembrini Audio plugin for completely free thanks to Nembrini Audio and Glenn Fricker. Side note, speaking of Glenn Fricker, if you're not aware of the current situation that's going on with his channel, please click on the video that's popping up on the cards above. But yeah, point being is that I did get the plugin for free, but absolutely nobody is expecting a video, nobody asked me to do a video, nobody paid me to do a video. I'm doing this completely on my own initiative, and all the thoughts and opinions that I'm sharing are completely mine. With that out of the way, let me give you a quick walkthrough of this plugin because it's not like anything I've ever seen before. Okay, so as you can see probably right here, I got the Nembrini Audio plugin loaded up, got my core to a TMG 81 and 85s, if that matters though. And yeah, when you load up the plugin for the first time, it should sound something like this. Now, here is why I said that I haven't seen anything like this before. You know how you usually use knobs to control everything? Well, here we don't use knobs, we use these little blue buttons and then these arrows. So for example, these are the parameters of the preamp. We got a drive 1, which is a pre-drive, more of a like a boost. It's not the actual gain, it's more of a boost before the gain stage. So let's say I want to adjust the pre-gain. This is how the plugin sounds right now. If I want to adjust that, I click on the pre-gain, and then with the arrows I can turn it up. Or I can turn it down. Yeah, it's kind of annoying having to click without mouse a billion times, but I guess it's true to the original, so that's cool. Now the effects. The effects section is pretty interesting. You click this button to engage the effect, like the whole section. And then you have these 6 buttons right here. You got a delay, a modulation, a reverb, a filters, a gate, and a compression. So the delay is a delay. Something very cool is that it can sync with like the DAW's tempo, but I don't want that right now. Yeah, it's a very good sounding delay actually, but I'm gonna power it off for now. The modulation has 2 modes. It has like a chorus mode, which, let me engage it. It sounds like this. Yeah, I'm not really a chorus guy, to be honest. I really want to get into it, but I don't know what to use it for. This also can sync with your DAW's tempo if you want to. And the second mode is a tremolo, which... I'm actually gonna use it with the clean voicing, like this. This is a very versatile plugin. I think the people who are gonna get something like this are mainly gonna use it for like metal rhythm and shred stuff. And it's great for that, don't get me wrong, but it also can do like these types of edge of breakup-y, cleany, crunchy rock sounds. Now, the next effect is a reverb. It's actually been engaged the whole time. This is not my favorite reverb ever, to be quite honest with you, but it's there if you need it. Now the filters, this is a very cool section. This is basically like a high pass and a low pass, but you have one set of high pass and low pass filters before the gain and then one after the gain. This is very useful, like you could basically tweak your DI. So you can cut the bass a bit so it sounds tighter. So much. And the harsh knob cuts the highs. It actually cuts some noise right now, like. Then we have the rumbling and the harsh, which are the post high and low pass filters. You can do like a lo-fi effect with these, like turn them up like this. But they're very useful if you use them very sparingly. Yep. This is what it sounds like without the filters. And this is with the filters. They're very useful. This is a very useful feature. I don't know why this isn't in more plugins. Now to the cabinet section. Cabinet section has actually 3 different modes. You can use it in cabinet mode, which is using their like Nembrini Audio IRs in this interface with the cabinet and the 2 mics. Or you can load up your own impulses, and something really cool is that if I actually load like 2 completely random IRs, is it combines them and it shows you like how the EQ graph of the new IR that you made by combining your 2 IRs looks. This is very cool. I think I've seen it in other plugins, but it's like I think this should be in every plugin. You can also bypass the cabinet, like if you want to use it with like an external IR loader or maybe with an actual cabinet, for which case I would also recommend turning off the power amp and using an actual power amp. You're not going to be able to power a cabinet without a power amp, so yeah, you better do that so you don't run a power amp into a power amp. But what I'm going to focus on now is the cabinet section. We have a few different cabinets. I'm just going to go through them really quickly. This is where we started. Now we have a microphone section. We have a few different mics. We got a 57, which can be on and off axis. I'm actually gonna just solo this first mic right here. We can have it off axis. We can have it on axis. A ribbon, 414. 421, which I don't like really, and we can combine them. We can actually like do a pseudo Fredman thing, like one SM57 on axis, one off axis. Let me unsolo this. yeah, that's how the plugin works. When you get it, you can tweak it to your own desires and try to achieve your desired tone. Now, let's go through the presets actually. There's a few factory presets. Let's check out the metallic one. I remember liking that one. Yeah, sounds cool. There was a cool lead preset. Heavy solo, yeah, here it is. Now, let me actually plug in the tele to try out some clean sounds, see how this plugin sounds with the tele, and fuck off. Boost the input a little bit. Okay, let's check out this heavy drop D preset, since this is in drop D. It has a DiMarzio chopper in the bridge. I feel like I should boost the input, And let's lastly try preset Dream Clean. Switch to the neck pickup. Well, one thing is for sure, it does sound unique. It's definitely not just another 5150 rectifier sim kind of thing. To be honest, I do like how it sounds, I like how it sits in a mix, it has a very vintage, saturated sort of sound. But what I like more about it is that it gave me the chance to experience a piece of gear that I wouldn't have had the chance to check out otherwise. I was debating calling the ADA MP-1 a forgotten piece of history or something like that, but I don't think that's really true. I don't think that it's really forgotten, but it's definitely not being introduced to the younger generation of players. And I think that it should be, so that's what I'm trying to do here. Did you actually know of the ADA MP-1 before watching this video? I'm actually curious. Drop me a comment down below. Is this like a really famous piece of gear that I have just been sleeping on? Or are you just now finding out about its existence? I'm gonna leave a link for the Nembrini plugin down in the description, and if you wanna see more fun metal recording, guitar, playing guitar sort of content, definitely hit the subscribe button. And click on this video if you wanna see a list of completely free but insanely good plugins for making metal. Bye bye.